was a period when I stopped trusting myself. Not dramatically.
But believe it or not, even as a best-selling author, it happened to me and to my own self-doubt as well as the research. For me, it all happened
Quite gradually. The way, say, a shoreline disappears. One wave at a time. I doubted decisions. I doubted my instincts. I doubted feelings. I doubted memories. I even doubted certainty itself. Was I overreacting? Underreacting? Missing something? Seeing something that wasn't there? Like I didn't know anymore. And that's, I tell you, a dangerous place to be. Because when you stop trusting yourself, you start looking elsewhere for answers, for certainty, for somebody who seems more confident, more certain, more convinced. That's when I started getting deeper again. And I started reading psychology, mental health, human behaviour. Not because I wasn't knowledgeable enough, because I wanted more stability. I wanted something solid, something I could stand on. What I discovered though, it surprised me. Apparently losing trust in yourself, it's not that unusual. In fact, modern life seems designed to create this. One study I read viewed the most common psychological struggles affecting young and middle-aged adults. Depression, anxiety, social anxiety, adjustment difficulties, stress-related disorders. At first, those labels sounded clinical, distant, like something happening to other people. Then I read further. The researchers found that uncertainty, financial pressure, relationship struggles, social pressure, workplace stress, and major life changes were among the most common triggers. Suddenly, it sounded familiar, very familiar in fact, because self-trust really disappears in a vacuum. Usually, life becomes complicated first, then confusing, then overwhelming, then your internal compass starts malfunctioning. Like, imagine trying to navigate through, say, thick fog. Eventually, you stop trusting your eyes. That's what happened to me. Too many contradictory signals, too much information, too many opinions, too many experts, too many voices, not enough silence. Then I found another study. And this one will actually hit harder. Now, it wasn't about mental illness. It was about conspiracy theories, disinformation, false certainty. The researchers, they noticed something really interesting. When people become distrustful, confused, uncertain, and disconnected, they often become attracted to simple explanations. Not because they're stupid, because certainty feels good. Certainty feels safe. Certainty feels relieving, even when it's wrong, especially when it's wrong. Because reality, it's usually complicated. But conspiracy theories, they're not. They offer villains, secret plans, clear answers, hidden enemies, simple stories. And suddenly I realized something. The moment I stopped trusting myself, I became vulnerable. Vulnerable to certainty, not truth. Certainty. And there is a difference. See, Truth often sounds like maybe, possibly, and things like we're not sure. Certainty sounds like absolutely, definitely, without question. But the problem is life. It rarely works that way. Yet, when you're struggling, certainty becomes intoxicating. It feels like relief. And the research showed that middle-aged adults can be particularly vulnerable, and very vulnerable, to disinformation online. Not because they're less intelligent, because many feel distrustful of institutions, skeptical of mainstream information, and are searching for explanations. That word again, searching. That's what I was doing, searching, looking for answers, looking for reassurance, looking for that certainty, looking for someone to tell me what was real. Then the research taught me something uncomfortable. Maybe self-trust isn't certainty either. Maybe I had actually misunderstood. See, because I'd always imagined confident people trusted themselves completely. Never doubted, never hesitated, never questioned. But that's not trust. That's arrogance. Trust is different. Trust means you can survive uncertainty. You don't need every answer. You don't need guarantees. You don't need perfect clarity. You simply believe and figure things out. That's much healthier. The mental health research kept pointing to the same direction. Psychological health isn't the absence of difficulty. It's the ability to adapt, to adjust, to recover, to respond, and to continue. That idea, that changed something, because maybe I wasn't failing. Maybe I was adapting, slowly, imperfectly, honestly. Then another insight happened. It appeared. The disinformation researchers, they argued that the critical thinking itself, media literacy, education, and strong social support, they protect people from false beliefs. Now, that fascinated me because these same things can help protect us. They can protect us from our own worst thinking. Now, think about it. What helps us trust ourselves? Evidence, reflection, community, even honest conversations, testing assumptions, checking out reality, not blind confidence. Better thinking, that's different. Very, very different. Self-trust isn't believing every thought you have. Self-trust is knowing that you can actually question your thoughts without collapsing. You can challenge yourself without abandoning yourself. You can doubt yourself without becoming lost. That's maturity, not certainty. Maturity. Looking back, I think that's what happened. I lost confidence and confused it with losing trust. Then I lost certainty and confused it with losing wisdom. Neither, though, were true. The research kept repeating a message that I desperately needed to understand. As humans, we struggle, but as human beings, we adapt. Human beings get confused, but we can recover. That's the normal thing. And in that being normal, this means maybe self-trust doesn't begin when confusion ends. Maybe it begins when you stop demanding certainty. Maybe it begins when you accept. And part of that accepting is knowing that you can't see clearly. Nobody can. All of the time. Not even psychologists. Not experts. Not leaders. Not you. Not me. Everyone instead is navigating. Everyone is guessing. Everyone is adapting. And some people are simply more comfortable admitting it. Or perhaps that's what research taught me. When I couldn't trust myself, it's not that I needed more certainty, not that I needed all the answers, not that I needed to become fearless. I simply needed to become comfortable not knowing. Because self-trust, it's not believing you'll always be right. It's believing you'll be okay even if you're wrong. Strangely, that's when I started trusting myself again.
Thanks for watching. Please like this video. If you subscribe, comment to say that you have, and we'll look after you.